Well, hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on the West Coast and noon on the East Coast, and this is Saturday. So this is, in spite of what it says on the screen there about online techniques and all that stuff, you are in the right place. This is Janet and Don Legere's normal Saturday morning thing at getlivetraining.com. Janet and Don, as you all know, are still on vacation. And that is coming to an end here soon, and I'm going to be so grateful. I have done more webinars over the last 2 weeks than I ever bargained for. But that's okay. It's been very fun. And it looks like we have a small crowd here for a Saturday. Well, while the mice are away, the cats will do something or other, or, however that works. So, I don't know. Janet's also not been sending out her notices, so people aren't getting those emails saying join us, join us, join us. So we got a small crowd here today. I hope not all of you have seen this because this is I've actually had a couple of requests to do this, and of course the people who requested that I do this I don't see in the room today, but that's okay. I'm going to be teaching you a really quick method that's very simple for writing an article in 30 minutes. Can you, if you have not seen this before, give me a no in the text chat if you have not seen this training before. All right, I'd just like to know. Debbie, you haven't? Okay, cool. And Bill hasn't? Okay, all right, I'm getting no's. So that's very cool. I just don't want to do the same thing for everybody who's seen it before, although I do want to come out with a good recording of this that we can put up. I did this not too long ago in the Contact List Builder. And I want to point out to anybody that happens to be here that's not a member of the Contact List Builder, Janet's Contact List Builder program, that this is the kind of training that you get in there. So if you're not a member of Contact List Builder and you like what you see today, then you might want to contact the person who got you here, or go into your Prospect Geyser office and look at the downline builder or something like that, and get yourself into the Contact List Builder, because this is the kind of training that you'll find over there. This is not a big complicated thing, and I'm not going to do a whole big spiel beforehand. We're just going to get right into learning this. But I'd like to ask a couple questions first, so that we know what we're dealing with here, and you'll get a little idea of why we're doing this and stuff like that. So, number one, how many of you guys here are using article marketing for traffic, or writing articles of any kind? In other words, you're writing blog posts or you're writing articles. Give me a yes in the text chat if you are, or no if you are not. All right, so that I know what we're dealing with here. Any form of article marketing. Okay, now I've gotten both no's and yeses. All right. Adrian, I know you are. Barbara says she's yes, but not enough. Okay. Now, the guys who answered no, I just want to ask you, is there an intimidation factor in this? When somebody brings up the subject of writing an article, is there some part of you that says, oh, God, I don't want to do that, or, oh, geez, it takes me so long, or, oh, I'm not that good a writer. Do I have to be a writer to be successful online and get traffic this way? Is there some part of you that kind of, bridles up and says, oh, God, I don't want to sit down and write things? Okay, I'm getting yeses. I'm getting yeses in the text chat. And, guys, it's not unusual. This is not unusual at all. Some people here in the room, for you guys on video, are not seeing the text chat. We're getting comments in there that I'm not good with words and things like that. And guess what, guys? This is fine. This is normal. Look at the percentage, the number of people out there, and what is the percentage of people out in the world that you think would consider themselves good writers? Well, and the rest of us are fairly intimidated by the prospect of having to do it. How many of us used to love getting an assignment in high school or college where you had to write an article or write a report or, something like that? Most of us hated it all the time. And that's a normal reaction when you tell somebody, okay, well, if you want traffic, you got to write stuff. And there are ways around it, but you can look at PLR sources, and you can do private label resources and things like that, where you can acquire content. But the fact of the matter is, if you get over yourself, and if you do a little bit of realization about why you're writing, and you come up with a really easy method where you can rip off an article really fast and really comfortably, then all of a sudden your feelings start to change. And what we're going to do today is we're going to give you a really simple method of ripping off an article in 30 minutes. I'm telling you, 30 minutes. And there's no reason why anybody can't do this. I'm telling you, this is so simple. And you guys who have seen this before will can testify to that fact, that this makes article writing possible for anyone if you simply do what I'm going to outline for you today. Okay, so let's discuss a few things first. Number one, what are we going to be talking about? Okay, the biggest thing here is that you really need to decide and to understand why you are writing. Most of us don't do this. We have our priorities mushed up, and we tend to put ourselves in the same situation as when Mrs. Cooper gave you that assignment in your sophomore class, and it took you 6 hours to write those 9 paragraphs, right? Okay. And we tend to put ourselves in that position every time we have to write something for our website or for our blog, okay? And this is a huge mistake. So we're going to talk about what we're writing for. We're going to talk about quality versus efficiency. There is a balance that we have to reach there. And once you realize what you're writing for, and the objective becomes what it actually is, instead of what you remember it being. Is that the famous Sue Fisher in this room? That's very cool. Hey, Sue, how you doing? Good to see you here. That's interesting. All right. Listen, once the objective becomes really, when you understand the real reason why you're writing content for your blog or your website, then you can do a balance between quality and efficiency, and that need for quality won't freeze you in your steps, which is where so many people get locked up in article marketing. And why it becomes difficult and something that we dread. Then we're going to get you a clock to beat, all right? This is all about time. If you're not turning out articles quickly and easily, then you shouldn't be doing it as a traffic generation strategy. It's one of the most powerful strategies you can use to get, traffic to your website. But so many people use it in an inefficient way that it takes too much time for the traffic that you need to generate. You need to get a clock to beat. You need to get going and churn out that content. And then we're going to do a little preparation, and then we're going to talk you right through this method. Now, what I did just before we started, for those of you guys who came in just after the 9 o'clock time, in the shared files folder in this room, there are some materials that you might want to grab right now as we do it. For those of you who don't know, the shared files folder is that icon in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. It's got, looks like a sideways V. It's got 3 little balls and 2 lines. And in there, the very last two files you will see are article writing method and training 30-minute article stuff. One's a zip file, one's a PDF file. The PDF file is a PDF version of the slides that we're using today, so you can refer back to them later and you don't need to take notes. And the zip file contains actual worksheets that you can use to actually create articles and blog posts using this method. And you will see the worksheet on the screen as we do this. But if you want, you can go ahead and download it and open it up in front of the room here so you can look at it yourself, on your screen. And those are yours, so you can just take them. All right. So this is what we're going to do today. This is our agenda. Grab the stuff now if you want to grab the stuff now. Otherwise, you can wait till after. We're going on. All right. So the first thing we got to talk about is, what are you writing for? Why are you writing that article? Why are you writing that blog post? Now listen. Sometimes, there are two reasons you're going to be writing a thing on your blog. One is to impart information to your readers who you already know. And that's fine. And you want to write a nice thing and communicate what you're writing about. Now, the biggest advice I can give you is, when you write for that purpose, just write. Just talk. Just talk as if you were talking to somebody sitting on the other side of your desk. All right? But when you write an article for distribution, like at eZine Articles or Article Cube or any of the hundreds and hundreds of article directories out there, you're doing it for a specific reason. All right? And you need to understand that reason. Now, the guy on the screen, that's Chuck Dickens. Okay? He was pretty good. But listen, he could take years to write a book. His books, as a matter of fact, a lot of them were first published in the London Times, and they were serialized. Every 3 weeks you'd get a chapter. And he'd have hundreds of chapters in his book. It could take him 2 years to get that thing published. All right? A long time. James Joyce. I'm an Irishman. James Joyce is one of my favorite guys. It took him 10 years to write Ulysses. It took him 12 years to write Finnegan's Wake. Right? They're considered two of the greatest novels of the 20th century. But guess what? It took him 22 years to write those 2 books. You can't afford to do that. You can't, not only can you not afford it as far as time goes, but guess what? You can't afford the mental anguish that goes into writing, that most of us put into writing an article. You've got to realize that the reason you're doing this is, there's really only 3 reasons. You're not writing for posterity. You're not writing for, to be remembered in the eons of history. You're writing for traffic, and you're writing for traffic, and you're writing for more traffic. Those are the 3 reasons you're writing. It's all about traffic. Take the burden off of yourself of, this has to be a literary genius kind of creation. It doesn't. It has to get 100 people to your website. That's what it's for. That's all it's for. When you're going to put something, write an article to bring traffic back to your website, the really important thing is the author's box. Now, does this mean that the article can be crap and it's okay? No. That's not what I'm saying. Don't take me off the edge like that, all right? I'm just saying, take that burden off of you so that you don't have to have this huge weight on your shoulder that says, okay, I've got to be John Steinbeck while I'm telling people how about a 30-minute article writing method. You don't have to be John Steinbeck. You don't have to be James Joyce or Norman Mailer or any of these people. That's not your job. Your job is to get 100 people to your website through your author's box at eZine Articles. Does this make sense to you guys? Does it start to change things a little bit if you just take that whole I have to be a great author out of the equation? You've got spell check, right? Your word processor has a spell check system. It probably has a thesaurus, and it probably has, a way of checking your grammar and going through and making sure things are correct that way. If it doesn't, you'll get that when you put your article into eZine Articles. It'll go through and it'll tell you, I'm not submitting this yet because your English are stink here, right? Okay. So listen, give me. Does this make sense to you guys? If you take this stuff out of the equation, does it get a little bit easier? Okay, Brenda says, yeah. All right. Well, this is what we're going to try and do. We're going to give you a method that's going to make you so focused on how simple this is that you're going to be able to just stop paying attention to that thing that tells you, oh, I'm not writing well enough. Now, let me give you a couple more points. When you write an article, you don't want to give all the information. Okay? Most of us try to, when we sit down and write an article about a subject, we want to show everybody how smart we are. My goodness, this isn't just on my blog. This is going to e-zine articles. So I'm going to tell them everything that I know about this subject, and I'm going to write this big complicated article. And guess what? Once I've told everybody in the article everything I know about my subject, what reason is there for them to come visit me at my website? What have I just done? I've just given up the leverage I have to complete my objective, which is to go put an article in e-zine article so that people will come to my blog, right? You following me? If I give up everything I know in the article, then there's no reason for them to click that link in the author's box and go over to my blog post, right? So when I write an article, I'm going to put good, solid information, but I'm going to put very limited good, solid information. Here's the second hint. Most people misuse the author's box. Give me a yes in the text chat if you've seen an author's box on an article that reads something like this. Steve Gaghagen is a retired actor, director, vocalist, and realtor who now lives in Big Bear Lake, California with his giant dog Monty and teaches people how to make money online. You can find more about Steve by visiting his blog at stevegaghagen.com. How many of you have seen that author's box? Time and time again, right? Yeah, okay, I'm getting yes, yes, yes. That's exactly the way most people do it. The lead bell for those who missed. The people who find my article in e-zine articles are not looking for me. They're not interested in me. They don't care about me and my giant dog and stuff like that. They found my article because they searched a keyword in e-zine articles, or they searched a search term on Google. And what they did was, boom, then they found this article that tied in with what they were looking for, the information they were looking for. They're looking for information on the subject I was writing about. They don't care about me. So how about if I give them 2, 3, or 4 really salient, good points about that subject, and then my author's box says something like this. If you found the information above useful, I've made a series of really good videos and further blog posts on this subject. You can find out more on my blog at boom. Now what I've done is I've used my article in e-zine articles to wet their whistle, to let them know this is important information, and I have more on the same subject by following this link if you want to find out more. Right? Does this make more sense, guys? Isn't this, isn't this more focused on the objective of getting people to your website? All right, so this is the first 2 big points of this. Number 1, your article doesn't contain everything you know. It contains a few salient points. And then your author's box is an introduction, or an invitation rather, to come on over to my blog, and there you'll find more information on the same subject, okay? So this is really important. So we don't just write crud. We use our author's box correctly, but we also give just a few salient points in the article itself. Now, It needs to be relevant content. It needs to be good content, but you need to be able to churn this out. It needs to be comfortable. It needs to be fast, and it needs to be designed in the way that we just talked about. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a timer. Now, I use Cool Timer. You can go to onlinetechniques.net/Cool Timer, and you can download Cool Timer for yourself. Let me put that in here. Net slash right there. If you go there, you can download this. If you have trouble with that link or anything like that, then just go to Google and search Cool Timer and you'll find it. Now, Cool Timer is a very neat little timer that runs in your computer, and you can make it count up and you can make it count down and you can make it look like different things and stuff like that. But the whole point is get yourself a timer. This is the way I do it. You can use, another digital timer or something like that, but this is the way I do it now. Now we're going to get right into the method, and what you're going to need is you're going to need a legal size or a letter size pad that you can write on, or you're going to do this on a notepad file. All right. Now I tend to do this on a notepad file most of the time because I'm just comfortable working completely online. Some people like to write, however, on a regular piece of paper. However you do it. We're going to be working with time limits here, and what's going to happen is you're going to run out of time on some things. You're going to have extra time on other sections. Here's the big rule. When your time is up, and you stop doing what you're doing, okay? Now, we're going to talk through this, and you will see on the screen just some slides, and during the slides, you will see, in the slides, you will see the worksheet in the background. It's going to be small, but that's why I said if you want to download it first, if you want to open it from the shared files folder, you can do that. But it'll all make sense to you as we go through this. All right. So number one, get your timer, get a legal size or a letter size pad or a notepad file, and you're going to sit down and you're going to do the following, and we'll just talk through it. First thing you got to do is you got to do a little preparation. Now, the kind of article we're going to create is called a list article. How many of you have seen this? Give me a yes in the text chat if you've seen these kind of articles. The 4 things you must do to, achieve this. Or the 7 things you must have if you want to do this. Or the 4 things you've got to avoid if you don't want to fall in a hole. Or, something like this. Have you seen articles like this? All right. All right, so now we're getting yeses. Okay, good. The reason you see these articles is twofold. Number one, they are extremely easy to write. And that's why we're going to use them here, because we're going to take the complicated out of writing articles that generate traffic. Number two, they generate traffic because guess what? They're very SEO friendly. They're very search engine friendly. Because, they're automatically divided into subheadings, which Google likes, because you got your number. Here are the 4 things you need to have to avoid, stubbing your toe. Okay, well, number 1 is a subheading. Number 2 is a subheading. Number 3 is a subheading. You follow what I'm saying? Google likes to see, all the search engine algorithms like to see things divided into subheadings, and they like to see the keywords involved in the subheadings. Well, if you make a list article, you're probably 95%, 93% chance you're probably going to be conforming to that just by the way the article is structured, okay? So you're going to have a very search engine friendly article, and it's going to be very easy to write. So that's what we're doing. Now, your preparation is not to figure out how all of a sudden everything about this article. We're going to break it down. You need to decide on your subject generally. This can come out of the keywords that you use on your website. It can, be anything you want, basically. Let's say this time we're going to use time management in your home business. All right. I've got some time management software that I want to sell or something like that. And, some planning software or some, I always tie my RoboForm program into time management. It's the hugest time saver I ever found. So, if I want to go out and sell RoboForm and advise people to use RoboForm password management, I will tie it into time management software because that's a good keyword and it's doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of competition, and you can get blog posts on Google really easy for that. All right, so I might do that. I might write a blog post all about RoboForm, and then I might go out and write an article called Time Management in Your Home Business. All right, and then I've got to decide. So that's my subject generally. And I want to write an article to drive people to this blog post that I wrote about RoboForm and how it helps with time management. And click here and you can get RoboForm, right? Are you guys following what I'm doing? I'm using the article in this hypothetical question situation to point towards a blog post that sells something. I'm not going to try and go sell something on Easy Articles. I'm going to write an article about time management and your home business. And boom, it points to my blog post. All right? So I've decided my subject is generally time management in my home business. Now I've got to decide whether I'm going to take a negative or positive approach. They are both valid. And you'll find that it depends on what your subject is. So, for this one, I would want to decide whether I'm going to talk about the things you must have or the things that will, help you or do good time management, or the things you must avoid if you want to achieve good time management in your home business. So you want to decide whether you're going to go positive or negative. Does this make sense, guys? Give me a yes in the text chat if you're following me. I don't want to lose you because this is the only place where you have to do a little conceptualization, a little, be a little artsy with it, be a little strategic with it, and you have to really think about it because after this, we're not going to be doing too much thinking and we're going to go very fast, all right? So I think for, good time management in your home business, I think we would probably take the positive approach. And, 4 things to 5 things, 7 things, whatever. Things you must have to achieve good time management in your business, all right, in your home business. Let's go that way, all right? Now, then what we're going to do is we're going to start working. Once we've done our preparations, we are going to jump right into this. And here's how we go. First, we're going to set our timer for 7 minutes, our cool timer. Okay, and we're going to take our notepad file or our legal file, and we've decided we're going to write down must-dos or must-haves, to have good time management in our home business. We give ourselves 7 minutes, and we start writing down everything we can think of. You're not doing any prioritizing here, none at all. You're just writing down the things that you might think of. Okay, I need a quiet space to work. I need a clean work desk, a workspace. I need the best technology that will serve me best around me. I need to have a specific time during the day when I work and a specific time when I don't work so that I can keep my mental health together. And I might just go on, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep going. And fill out that 7 minutes. Write down everything you can think of. If it's silly, write it down. But if it pops into your head and it's tied into the subject, write it down. All you're doing is letting your mind spill out. You have 7 minutes to do this. Write it all down. All right? That's the first step, and it's really, really easy. Okay? Now, if you run out of things, then you sit there. Okay? Don't make any value judgments. If you run out of stuff to say in 5 minutes and you don't want to waste 2 minutes, then okay, call time on yourself. But you need to have at least 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things down, and you're going to find if you get good at this that stuff will just come out of your head. It's not unusual to have 20 things written down there by the time you're done, okay? So this is the first 7 minutes. When the timer goes off, if you're still writing, stop. and go on to the next one. Now we're going to set it for 3 minutes. And you have 3 minutes to prioritize your list. You're going to pick the top 3 to 5 that are on that list, in your opinion, that are the top 3 to 5 most important. And then you're going to put them on a page. And this should be like on a notepad. Actually, you have a worksheet in the zip file where you can do this. And let's say we picked 4, all right, out of, we got a list of 10 or 15. And I'm going to take 4 and I'm going to put them on the worksheet. Now, that worksheet that you have a Word file, a regular, a word processor file. So that you can actually just highlight that and boom, pop 1, 2, 3, 4 in there in the correct places. You're going to leave space above them and space in between them, just like you see on the screen there. So if you have 3, you'll only have 3 of those. If you have 5, you're going to have to maybe go to another page, all right? But you shouldn't have any more than 5, and you shouldn't have any less than 3. So let's say 4 is the ideal number. So now you prioritize, you take those 3 minutes, and you 1, 2, 3, 4, put them there. Boom! That's all you need to do. You've got 3 minutes to do it, which should be plenty of time, okay? So now you've finished doing that, and we're going to go on to the next section. The next section, you're going to set your timer, your cool timer, for 12 minutes. Now you're going to write a few sentences about each of those items. Now, you can, if you get good at this, you can go and put, 1 to 3 paragraphs in between each one. But it doesn't have to be any more than really 3 or 4 or 5 sentences at the very most. All you want to come out of here with, a good traffic-grabbing article is going to be somewhere between, say, 500 and 750 words. That's all you want. You don't want to write a 1,200-word article. It's too much information, okay? If you're up to 1,000 words, 800 words, 900 words, then guess what? You're giving too much information in what is supposed to be a teaser article to get people to click your link and go over to your website. So you don't want to do that. Some people write them 400. I would say 500 to 700 words. Now, you're going to write just a couple paragraphs. So the first one, let's say I've got in my, my first number one thing for time management for a home business is I need to have a clean and organized workspace. I might write something like, have you ever heard the expression that a cluttered desk reflects the state of the worker's mind? Well, I can tell you that's true. There's nothing that chews up your time more than looking for that pen, looking for that piece of paper, looking for that note you took 2 weeks ago and having to go through the whole stack on your desk. If you have a clean workspace, you will save tons of time over the year. Boom! I've written the whole thing. That's it. That's all I'm going to write in there. Okay? Just a quick explanation about, number one, I drew a little word picture of, how much time the things people would normally go through if they have a really messy desk. How many times have you seen people with really messy desks? Maybe it's you, who are going through papers and searching through papers to find one thing they know is there somewhere, and they spend 15 minutes looking for this darn thing. Where if they had an organized desk that was everything in the right place, it would have taken them 5 seconds to find, right? So I drew a little word picture and then just said flat out to them, look, read that sentence above. This is what you need to do. Okay? It was like 3 or 4 sentences. That was all it was. Boom, I'm done. And I'm going to do that with each of my 4 points. The next one might be work during specific times of the day. Have specific work hours. And I might just say something like, the problem with a home business, with time management and your home business, is that it's so easy to work all the time. It's so easy for your work to follow you around and chew up your relaxation time as you think constantly about what you should be doing or what you could be doing. Have definite hours that you work, and when it's time to stop, stop. You'll be healthier in the long run. Boom, there's another paragraph. I just did 2 of them. Okay? You have 12 minutes. Are you guys following me now? All we're doing is we're taking our subheadings and we are writing 3 or 4 sentences about each one, like a little mini composition. Give me a yes in the text chat if you think you can do that in 12 minutes. Yes? 12 minutes is a long time. You know, I just did 2 of them in about, 2 minutes apiece. Okay, so I'm getting yeses in the text chat. All right, so now we've gone through our 12 minutes, and what we have is we have 4 subheadings, and we have 4 little paragraphs in each one. All right, and now we're going to go on to the next section. We're going to take 8 minutes, and we're going to write a short introductory paragraph and a short closing paragraph. Now, this is where people start to go, oh, God, this is going to get really hard. No, it's not. You only have 8 minutes. Get over yourself. All right. Here's how it goes. The introductory paragraph is, how much time do you waste in your home business? Have you ever thought of really organizing yourself so that things go more smoothly? Wouldn't you be more productive if your time was used better? Here are 4 items to pay attention to if you'd like to improve your time management in your home business. Boom! I've written the entire introductory paragraph. Okay? Now guess what? The closing paragraph is just a reverse attack of the same thing. It's just basically the same thing. Because I'm going to say something like, most of us waste a lot of time. We spend hours working on our business when actually we could spend, we might be successful spending only half the time. If you pay attention to the 4 items listed above, you'll improve your time management in your home business and your life will be happier as well, blah, blah, blah. That's it, okay? I've just done the entire thing. I've completed the entire article. I've done it in 30 minutes. Now let's take a look at what it is, all right? Now I'm going to open this up here. Hold on just a minute. I want to look at it myself. Hold on just a second. Yeah, and I'm going to put this on the screen so that the people here watching the video can see it better. Give me a second, guys. All right. Oh, come on. All right. Basically, I'm going to make that smaller. All right. So basically, you've got an introductory paragraph. Basically, it says if you want to be successful at something, here are 4 things you must do or must avoid to accomplish that. All right. Then you've got your item 1 goes there, item 2 goes there, item 3 goes there, item 4 goes there, and then you write some stuff in there about each of those subheadings. And then your closing paragraph, you simply restate paragraph 1 and you close. For instance, if you pay attention and make sure you accomplish or avoid these 4 common mistakes or commonly overlooked items, you'll find you have great success in whatever we talked about in the first paragraph. That's it. All right? And then you get your nice little, the author's box. And the author's box says, if you found this information useful, I've created a series of videos and blog posts over at my blog at stevegaghagen.com. Follow this link to the blog post that contains more information. Boom. And I send them directly to the blog post that's about my RoboForm and how it saves me hours of time every month. And why they should be using it if they're, if they want to make money online. Is this making sense, guys? Give me a yes in the text chat if this makes sense. All right. Look, this is really, okay, I'm getting yeses. Good. This is really, very simple. content creation should be fun and it should be easy. Uh, if you simply do this, files in the folder is that worksheet, and it is in a Microsoft Word form, so just about anybody out there can open it, and you can actually just use that to be a template. I believe there's one in there that's a text format too. I'm not sure, but anyway, you can use that to be a template, and boom, 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 write your articles on it. Go get your cool timer and just get out there and start trying this thing. Let me see, of you guys who are in the room right now, is there anybody who will commit to actually trying this over the next week? Just give me a yes in the text chat if you will get your cool timer and sit down and see if you can't write an article like this and bring it in under 30 minutes. Is there anybody that will commit to doing that? Just giving it a shot? Okay, I got a couple of yeses. I'm writing you down, Brenda and Debbie. Not really. Okay. John saying yes. Okay, cool. Well, Janet and Don will be back next week. But I'll try and remind her to find out, if there's anybody that's done this. Or you can just join me on next Thursday night and tell me how it goes. Because, why we got an only wire link there? I neglected to change that. But this, to me, is a really powerful thing. Now, what happens, guys, is when you get a little good at this, when you've done it a few times, then the reality is that it'll get easier and easier, and you can get more complicated and more complicated, and pretty soon you're just going to be more comfortable with the whole idea of writing an article. Once you're more comfortable with the idea, you may want to take more than 35. You may want to take 45 minutes or an hour and write an article, and you start enjoying it more instead of fearing it more and not liking to do it or all of that kind of stuff. If you do this for a while, the way you feel about writing an article will change. And because it gets to be a less intimidating thing, gets to be less drudgery, it gets to be more of a meticulous boom, 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 kind of pop them out sort of thing, and it becomes more fun. And once that happens, then you may enjoy doing it yourself. So if you just try it a few times, I will guarantee you it'll make this whole thing easier. So anybody got any questions about it? William, you can hire me anytime to write articles, but I will warn you, I ain't cheap. It seems to me that doing this yourself is probably a lot more cost effective in the long run. So does anybody have any questions about it at all? Was it clear? I hope it's clear, because I really enjoy this, and it's I can't tell you how many people have come back to me over the years that I've been teaching this thing and said, my goodness, that just changed the whole thing as far as I was concerned. And so I'm glad if it helps somebody, and let me know if it does. All right. Now, here's what's going on, guys. Next week, Janet and Don will be back. And they will actually be back Tuesday evening. So I will be doing the Monday morning, the morning motivator on Monday and Tuesday. Monday to sub for Janet, and Tuesday is my regular day anyway. And then Wednesday morning will be the first time Janet's back, I guess, on the morning motivator. All right. So, and next Saturday, Janet and Don will be here for GetLiveTraining.com, and of course, that's where I am every week, whether I'm doing it or not doing it. Want to invite you, I don't know what she'll be doing then, but probably talking a lot about their 2-week hiatus. And I want to invite you guys, if you don't join us on Thursday evenings, please do. We do trainings like this every Thursday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern at onlinetechniques.net/learning-wing. And anybody is welcome at those things. If you haven't joined us before, please join us. And if you'd like, you can go over to onlinetechniques.net and just sign into the mailing list there. That way you get all of the notices about those trainings. Okay? So that's it. Thank you, Debbie. That's very nice of you to say. And I hope this helps. Anybody got any questions or anything like that? We are about 15 minutes early. With this training, I like to bring it in quickly because it's really pretty simple. We just need to jump in there and do it. So download your stuff from the shared files folder, and Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I will see you all Monday morning in the morning motivator, and then there's a couple more I'll be doing then. That's it. Okay. Nobody has any questions, and I'm going to go ahead and wind this up for purposes of the video. I will stay around and answer questions in the room if anybody has them. So anyway, thank you very much for being here today. Hope that you find that little 30-minute article thing helpful, and I will see you online. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.